And we are live. It's Ultra Podcast Z, episode 143. It is the ultimate Rayquaza hour. It is all Rayquaza all the time. where I still
like it's Rayquaza.
Yeah, where I still little girls Rayquazas. That's my thing. Oh shit! I have sound on my fucking iPad over here.
Wait, you're sucking your iPad? What?
No, actually, I'm not even joking. There was porn playing on my iPad when I turned it on, and now I'm kind of self-conscious that I think when I was playing it, it had sound on too, but I guess nobody heard it. Anyway, but this isn't a fab, so I won't talk about the porn. But yeah, we will talk about me stealing Rayquazas from little girls. Apparently, that's what I do at Thanksgiving parties. Never invite me over Thanksgiving because I will find a little girl and steal a Rayquaza. Okay, this is getting weird. Anyways, my name is Manuel, the internet's favorite Rayquaza thief, and joining me as always is Nyaru.
Hello. I don't steal people's Rayquazas. My favorite TV show is ER, and I'm Nyaru.
Yep.
Hello.
And we have our internet internet what do you call them?
I mean, he kind of is an edgelord.
What do you call the people who mod stuff? Moderators?
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood modder, man.
Yeah, there you go. I called you an edgelord. You're really not an edgelord. I know Pleiades is the fucking you just say his name and you cut yourself on it. He's that fucking edgy. I don't know if that came out the right way, but anyways, yeah. Tonight we have a couple things actually. We have a crap ton of I think a lot of news topics we can talk about, or we can go with the original plan and talk about TV. We're probably gonna do a little of both, and we're probably talking a lot about TV once we get into it because we killed some of it already.
I'm gonna
before
talk
we were
about
live.
ER.
Yeah, we were talking about George Clooney, and to me, all I think of George Clooney is Batman, because he was Batman in Batman and Robin. And unlike most people, I didn't hate that movie when it came out. I did hate what they did to my boy Bane, but I didn't dislike that movie. I thought it was okay. I'm like, okay. It had Batgirl, Alicia Silverstone, who I had a bit of a crush on when I was a kid, and so yeah, I liked it. I think I had it on VHS and I watched it. No joke. I think I threw it away this weekend, that exact VHS. Because there was a box of VHS tapes. By the way, if you've been following along with A to J lore, you'll know I've mentioned that I have some lost media on some of these tapes. And there was always a joke that once I get to them, I'm going to throw them away. Well, that's no longer a joke. Because once I found that box of VHS tapes, I threw them all away. But I'm pretty sure that Batman and Robin tape was in there. There might be another box of VHS tapes. I don't think that was all of them, but yeah, I'm the internet's favorite destroyer of lost media. I know.
I agree. I 100% agree.
There's a lot of shows, including I have all these old wrestling shows. If you're a fan of, there's this very infamous wrestling show called Legends of Wrestling. And no one has the pre-show. No one decided to record the pre-show. But I had the pre-show on a tape. And I know that tape was in the trash now. So yeah, that lost media is gone. And there's a lot of old G4 shows. If you ever watched G4.
Oh my god, I used to watch G4.
Yeah. I used to record everything on there because I was a fucking weirdo.
Why?
Well, it's funny. Apparently it was for the good because apparently a lot of those shows are lost. But they're lost again because I threw away all the tapes.
Manual!
So, yeah.
Manual.
Yeah, I had so many things. Like they used to be this show called. I used to love this show called Blister, which just talked about I think it was mainly Cheat before Cheat was a thing. For those who don't know,
yeah,
never watched Before Cheat was the one that had codes. But Blister was a show they had before, and apparently nobody has those things because that was when it was still a really small channel. And I had a bunch of episodes recorded, and I threw them all away. And then there was a show that Chris Hardwick was on. That I forget what it was called. They would go to arcades and they would try to beat people who were good at arcades. One of them they played Billy Mitchell. And it was Chris Hardwick and the other guy. I forget the other guy's name because they used to have a group together called Hard and Firm.
Mhm.
So I assume the other guy is like something firm. That sounds weird, but I threw all those away.
Firm.
But yeah, there's all these shows that apparently are lost, and I threw them all away. So whatever.
Why would you throw them away though?
I don't
Like, do
know.
you
I'm
hate
not gonna.
us?
I'm not gonna lie. I'll
No,
be real with you.
I think it's that you hate us.
I'll be real with you. When I started seeing there was G4 tapes in this box, I kind of wanted to start separating those out and keeping them. But then when I saw how many there was starting to be, I was like, okay, this is not gonna. I'm never gonna do this, and unless somebody gets them from me, because I'm never gonna mail them to anyone to do it for me. I'm just gonna throw them away. And I didn't even try to see if anyone wanted to come get them from me. I'm pretty sure that was a thing that could have happened, but I'm just like, nope, they're trash now. So
Just like you.
yeah, that's a good comeback. Oh man, Manuel is become boomer destroyer of media. Yeah, that's me. There was a show. I don't know if you watched this show on G4. It was called Portal, and it was Machinima before Machinima was really a thing. I didn't know what Machinima was. Basically, they would go to MMOs and they would like record like footage of the MMOs. Then they would voice act over it. So imagine like Red versus Blue or something like that, or some Rooster Teeth thing. But it was all a bunch of MMOs, and there was this ongoing storyline about some of the characters, and like they would use Asheron's Call, EverQuest, The Sims Online, and shit like that to like make these. And then there was one human guy who was like in a hub. I love that show, and threw them all away.
But why?
I don't know. No, I'm not gonna lie. Now I kind of regret it, and I kind of want to go fish out the trash. But not only did I do this on Monday, so I'm pretty sure that trash is covered by new trash, but it's probably been taken out already because it was at a dumpster, so they probably emptied it out like daily or close enough daily where I'm done now. Yeah, I'm stupid. Let's move on. Well, we'll talk about TV, I guess. I love G4. Did you watch G4, Nyaru?
I did actually. I watched it with my parents.
Oh, did you watch X-Play? That was like the show everyone.
Yes, that's the one that my parents would watch because they wanted to know about the latest video games.
You sound
Wow,
like
you
a
had cool
commercial the
parents.
way you said that. I remember there was this. Sorry, I need to like fix my chair. There was this famous episode of X-Play. I don't know if you watched this one, where by the way, it was hosted by a couple people towards the end, but it was mainly hosted by Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Mhm.
And there was this somewhat infamous episode of the show. Sorry, I'm not sure what we're looking at because I fucking moved the camera. Okay, I'm a little high. I was right.
Yeah,
So,
we all know you're a little high, Manuel.
I mean
Yeah,
that
we
too.
know.
But but there was this episode where she was testing which console was like the strongest, and so she took a sledgehammer to like this, by the way, this dates the show perfectly. She took a sledgehammer to a GameCube, to an Xbox, an original Xbox, and a PS2. And very famously, first of all, the PS2 I think didn't survive any of the tests. But the Xbox I think survived one, and the GameCube survived them all. Like there was a point when she dropped it off of 50 feet or something like that, and the GameCube was like in pieces, like it barely closed. I think she had to hold it down, like she had to put something on top of it to close the lid so it would read that it was closed. But it powered on and it started a game, and it was like, what the fuck? It's like this GameCube. And for those who don't remember, there was also the infamous thing where there was a Game Boy that survived like a bomb in Iraq in the 90s.
I've seen that.
And yeah, and now, by the way, I've actually seen that Game Boy, but anyways, I think they have it in New York.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, at the Nintendo store.
And they can hear me, don't worry.
Oh, but for those that I like how Nintendo went from that to Joy-Cons that last you 6 weeks to a few months, and then you get drift. So fuck you, Nintendo. Please sponsor us and I'll stop saying fuck you.
Please give us your games to review.
Exactly,
I
give
want
us your
free
games.
Switch games.
Until then, fuck you. Anyways. Yeah, X-Play was good. I always loved the way X-Play did reviews for games.
What would they do?
Because they used a very simple review system. It was 1 out of 5. That was it. It was either a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I hate 10-point review systems.
Yeah, okay, I will agree with you. I hate 10-point review systems too.
No, you want to? Okay, I don't know if this is why you hate them, but because like 10-point view systems are pointless because technically a 5 should be average, but because in our minds we associate anything 10-point with the 100-point scale, which is what like we grade things on, you think of
Mhm.
a 70 as a C. So now your 7 becomes an average. And I'm like, then what the fuck? You're only allowed a very tiny window to give like a good score. And then you have all these numbers to indicate how bad it is. It makes no sense for scoring. And if you do score correctly, quote unquote, and give a game like a 5 if it's average, everyone's gonna think you're giving it a bad score because they've been like, whatever the word is, like ingrained to think, oh, it's a 5. That must mean it gets a really bad F. Like, oh my god, don't ever play this. I don't know.
Mhm.
Or don't ever read whatever scoring it is. I hate scores like that. You can kind of hide it. Like at A to J, we use a letter grading system, which is easy to understand, and it incorporates the 10-point system with that like sneakily. Because like technically we have 10 points, we can give like an A plus, an A minus, a B minus, but we still have the wiggle room. Like a C is still an average game, and then we still have enough of the higher scores. I reviewed Samurai Warriors 5 and I gave it a B, by the way. Spoiler alert if you don't click that article that I posted today on. I did that posting myself. Thank you very much. I do things.
And
Actually,
you
I
need
only
an
post.
editor manual.
Why? Is it like?
There were some places where I probably would have suggested some edits.
Oh,
Just like
Haha.
either for grammar, spelling, or just to like put paragraphs so you don't have a wall of text.
no. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't actually give it a second over. Maybe I'll go look at it again since it's being criticized. But
Sorry, it's what I do for cons.
well, go give me a list of things to fix later on. And I'll just fix them because I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. I don't think I'm gonna do that. But even though I just said I would. But I made the post. I mean, I wrote it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really do an edit because I wrote it really fast last night. Well, I didn't write it fast. It took me a long time to write it, and I did think I got most of my thoughts out. But I mean, like, I wanted it out by today, so there was like a deadline involved. What I meant when I made the post myself was that I actually did the post to Twitter on my own, because a lot of the posts aren't done by me, like by me personally. But I'm like, the Twitter post was me. That was Manuel posting,
That
from his
was
desktop. Yeah, and I'm like, look at Manuel doing things. Like he has a computer and he has hands. That sounds like a really bad description to somebody discovering internet porn for the first time. Anyways, now let's talk about ER.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so by the way, we're talking about TV shows, and this is the thing we're talking about yesterday because I really think it's a topic we can get lost in. Summer. When I was younger, summer was always a thing where like even when I say younger, I mean even until recently, because recently then my life went to shit. But summer was always the time when you could just take a break and like binge things. Be it video games, be it TV, be it whatever. Obviously now it's TV because you just fucking put on Netflix. When I was younger though, even still, I would just watch TV a lot. So let's talk about some TV shows. It's summer, it's hot, and yeah, ER. Is that your comfort show, Nyaru?
Yes, I do consider it a comfort show. It's one of those shows where I put it on in the background for like background noise, but I also know like, you know, what's going on.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody before we started. Because I was trying to like jog my memory about like some shows, shit like that. I'm like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna do that tonight. We have some news topics, but we were talking about TV shows for a while. I've been thinking about it. And it's like, oh, you can talk about comfort shows. I hadn't heard that term before today, by the way. And like, oh, is that what they call it? Because I mentioned in the notes, or like in the not even notes, but in the brief little thing I was throwing out yesterday, a lot of people talk about Friends or The Office. I'm so glad
Mhm.
that yours is ER, because I have nothing bad to say about ER. But I've seen both the Friends and the Friends. I've seen both Friends and The Office, and I hate both shows.
I grew up actually watching The Office, like the American Office,
Did you
when it was
do you
first
think
airing.
it's funny?
No, not really. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid.
But that's
I
the
didn't I
thing.
didn't
Like
get I
I don't
didn't
think
get
it's
like
funny.
half the show, or I didn't get half like the jokes that they were talking. Like like sometimes like my family will watch it and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny, I guess. But most of the time, I go back and I sit with my parents, like my other family, and I'm just like, what?
I
I
remember
don't. This is some. Is it okay if I say this term? But this is like, like the soy boy kind of humor.
Yes.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, yes.
Yes.
I'm so
Oh my
happy you
god.
know. I'm so happy you know.
I don't know. It's like I just don't get that kind of humor, and
I don't either. I don't either. I don't know who does.
apparently millions of people. Because not only is that one of the most popular shows ever, um, but there've been a lot of like it's basically built up and like minorly destroyed some like streaming services. Like when it left Netflix, or I think it's still on in some regions, you could like VPN that shit. But when it left Netflix US, like there was a huge thing about it. It was like, oh, The Office is leaving. What are we gonna do? Go watch your. I think they announced it months in advance. That's how insane this was. It was like, imagine it's even in October. They had announced it like in March that The Office is leaving. It's like, go watch it now, and I'm like, bitch, who cares? Like, go watch a better show.
Yeah,
stop,
exactly.
stop watching The Office for like the 18th time. And it's funny because even some of the meme jokes, like there's that one joke where I don't even know his name actor wise. He's the one from 40-Year-Old Virgin. What's his name?
Steve Carell.
JD. Yeah, Steve Carell. There's the meme where he's like, no, no, oh god, no. Like I've always thought that was like him trying to like purposely bad act. I thought that was just an out of context joke, like the way like when people are like, oh, Final Fantasy X voice acting is bad, and they use that clip where they're purposely trying to sound nervous. But like, no, that was him acting, and I'm like, why is that clip so bad? Like, who saw that take and was like, yeah, this is good. Let's put it in the show, and let's quote it for the next 15 years, or however many years. I don't think it's been that long, but yeah, since that episode came out. But you know what I'm talking about? The no, oh god, no. It's like it's a meme. You usually don't
It's a
see it with
meme,
sound.
yeah.
You don't see it with sound. Usually it's just a GIF or something like that. But yeah,
Thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm what?
Thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
GIF, yeah. I've actually had a lot of arguments with that. Like I have I think
GIF.
me and Warren say GIF, and then everyone else says GIF. Not gonna point this out, but the only argument I've ever heard for the GIF thing, for the GIF thing, I mean to say, is that we don't say giraffics, and I'm like, the P in JPEG is for the graphic. So, and we pronounce that we still say JPEG because that's what the creators intended. So that doesn't mean anything. Just because the word doesn't start with the sound, that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
The creator said it's GIF, and there's GIF, and not only that, but I've always said GIF. Like even before I knew the creator did it. Like why say GIF?
Yeah, my example is scuba, because if you go by how they're pronouncing the words, it should be something like skaba.
Skaba, skaba,
which sounds more like a ska band or something.
I mean,
that sounds just pretentious.
They're actually, no joke. There's this group I love. They're called the well, okay, they broke up a long time ago, but I still love them. They're called The Bravery, and they were around the early 2000s. You might know them for their big song, An Honest Mistake, which very annoyingly, Steven Crowder, that racist asshole, made into a really racist song during the pandemic. I hate Steven Crowder. If you ever see that meme where it's all like, blank, 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 you can't change my mind, please don't share those memes, because those memes are based on a Steven Crowder thing, and he's an asshole. But anyways, the original band, The Bravery, they apparently used to be a ska band before they became The Bravery. By the way, when they were The Bravery, they were kind of like this, I can't think of a good example, like, kind of one of those early 2000s, like, pop rocky things. Not emo, they're mildly emo, I guess, but like more like that early 2000s synth poppy type thing that was going around for a while. But apparently before they were The Bravery, they were called Skaba the Hut, and they were a ska band. And I just, like, ever since I found that out, I've been obsessed with the name Skaba the Hut. It's like,
the Hut.
Yeah, like, obviously Jabba the Hut, but ska. Like, imagine, like, if Jabba was in a ska band. Oh, man. Or it's one of the bands that plays at Jabba's Palace. Anyways, ER.
Yes.
George Clooney.
Yes. I like George Clooney.
Because he commits all the fucking, what are they called?
He committed 4
malpractice cases. It's like, I thought that was their
heart. But actually, funny thing is, that's actually not my favorite character of the show.
Oh? Is it that one kid? What's his name? Fuck.
John Carter?
Yes!
Like the in the show, yeah, right, the character named John Carter. I mean, I like him too, but that's actually not my favorite.
He's the only other character I know directly. because he's everyone's favorite, I think.
Yeah, well, he's the longest running character of the whole series.
Oh, no, that would explain why. I've only seen a few episodes of that. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of like it. When I've watched
It's so good.
I used to have a friend of mine who used to love that show, and he would watch some episodes when he would come over, like way back. He also liked Friends, so his taste wasn't all over the place good, but still he liked that show. And I was like, oh, ER's it's actually funny. Let's watch some of that instead of Friends. But yeah, my ER knowledge is very thin. Except
what do you want to know?
Is that the one that had like the weird dream sequences?
There's a lot of weird sequence episodes. Like,
yeah,
there's more than dreams. Like, the most recent one I just saw, like, in season 9 was like the whole episode went backwards. And I was like,
yes,
I'm too dumb for this shit. Even now as an adult, when I watched it as a kid, like, I was like, I didn't get it. Even now, like, it was too much for me. My brain cell worked way too hard.
No, I remember what I used to like watching Hercules and Xena. Hercules sucks now because of Kevin Sorbo, as far as I'm concerned. But Xena's still great, and they used to do like wacky shit with some of the episodes like that. And I remember a friend of mine actually, I think the same friend, not a new friend, but that same friend who liked ER would watch it at my house sometimes. He pitched ER to me like, "Oh, you'd like it because they do like wacky episodes like the Xena thing." And I couldn't remember if that was Grey's Anatomy. But when you mentioned that backwards episode,
no,
like, no,
Grey's
wait,
Anatomy does it too.
Oh, Grey's Anatomy definitely does it. But I think Grey's Anatomy is known more for that. I think ER could. Not ER was like really a serious show, but ER could, it wasn't like a drama. But
it was a drama. No, fuck
yeah,
you.
I think technically it was a drama. But you know what I mean? It wasn't like a soap opera. That's what I was looking for. It wasn't like overly dramatic.
No, it got overly dramatic. It's sometimes, mostly like for the season finales. That's when, or like just the start of the season. Like, can I talk spoilers on here, or would it not be okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, because this show
ended like forever ago.
Yeah, it ended like almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, the episode where Romano gets his fucking, like the asshole doctor, the asshole surgeon, the bald one. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm looking it up right now, actually. Yeah, but yeah.
remember when his arm got cut off? Like in I think it was like the last, or no, the first season, or no, the first episode of season 9. That was really dramatic, actually. So you know what?
We all laugh at his arm getting cut off. But wait, what is? Apparently, I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that this is an adaptation of something. So now I'm really confused. Hold on. Sorry, I'm all over the Wikipedia page. I've been on it for a while, but I was meant to go into the characters, and then I backed up to the main page, and apparently Michael Crichton created the show. I'm like, what?
Wait, Jurassic Park with Michael Crichton?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Nyara, in case you didn't know, I didn't know this.
But also, surprisingly, Goose from motherfucking Top Gun. He's the second main character, Dr. Green, the other bald one.
Oh, you're right. No, see, I remember. I definitely remember Dr. Green.
Funny,
but I never put two and two together that was him.
It's funny because you know how he gets like brain cancer at like the middle of the a couple seasons in.
I just want to point out, it's funny how he got brain cancer.
No, but I was gonna say, yeah. I think it's ironic because he was really known for, and the reason why he got ER was because of Top Gun.
Yeah,
and he died because of a head-related illness, just like or not like illness, but like something head-related, just like in Top Gun.
Yeah.
And the most ironic part is when he during his last episode in season 8, they took it, like he went to Hawaii because like he grew up there because like his parents or his father was like in the Navy or something, like in the Army. I think it was Navy. And he wanted to show like his deadbeat daughter around like where he grew up and everything, and was trying to fix her because she was like low-key addicted to drugs and almost like killed his child also.
What is this?
So and then like it's funny because he died by the ocean, just like Goose died in the ocean.
Oh my god. Okay, two things. One, I'm pretty sure that they thought about this stuff.
They
a lot
did.
of times they do,
really
yeah.
did.
But I love how you're over here like making a case of how like apparently he basically played the same character twice. It's like, this is the
Yes,
universe
that's
where
what
he
I'm
became
trying
a
to get
doctor.
at.
Yeah, this is the universe where like when he left the Air Force early and he used the GI Bill to go to medical school. Like this is that universe
Yo,
where he
let's
didn't
fucking go though.
where he didn't continue on his Air Force career. Fun
Wait,
fact,
weren't they Navy
actually.
pilots?
Oh, was he Navy? I don't remember. But he didn't continue on with his
He was
Navy career, naval career.
He was well in the series. Like he was a Navy kid.
Yeah, it probably would be Navy. Fun fact, I don't even actually I don't feel like going into that. It's just gonna explain why so much stuff is Navy and Marines. But anyway, it's actually funny because I had a lot of friends join the military because that's like what poor people do, like in the ghetto. As a matter of fact, that friend of mine who liked DR ended up joining the Marines, which is why I don't talk to him anymore. Not for any particular reason. He joined the Marines and we lost contact. But I remember I had a couple friends who joined the Air Force, and they're like, "What the hell is And like, mind you, we're just poor kids who don't know any better. But I guess they thought that by joining the Air Force, like they would be pilots.
Okay,
And
I
yeah.
know someone who did that. I know
Yeah.
someone who did that too.
And mind you, like I don't want to laugh at them because we were like poor teenagers, like we're kids.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny. I'm like, okay, not everyone's gonna become a pilot. So yeah, they ended up just like working a very menial like job, and like they still had to do all the other like military bullshit, but they didn't do anything quote unquote fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember because I still talk to them because they finished like their minimum, which is like 1 year or whatever, and they just
Mhm.
came back and they were like, oh yeah, that was terrible. So yeah, like everyone else kept extending their time until like whatever the hell they they were able to. But yeah.
Yeah.
Don't join the military. Don't fall for it. But don't join the Air Force. Actually, join the military.
Don't.
I don't. Huh?
I was like, don't join the Air Force expecting to be a pilot.
Yeah, that's what
There
I'm
needs
saying.
to be a
Don't
lot
join
of
the Air
ground
Force.
control for Major Tom.
You'll just get made fun of and be called Cheered Force. That's literally
Yeah,
it.
thank you. I was gonna say because apparently, and I only know this because like I mentioned so many of my other friends, and some of them I did talk to. Like obviously that one dude just disappeared off the face of the earth as far as I'm concerned. But everyone else, some of them did come back, and like I still hang out with some of them. But I know all of the branches of the military, mainly the Marines. But apparently, all of them make fun of the Air Force. I've actually never heard the term chair force, but I gotta write that down somewhere. But yeah, basically that's what the two friends of mine who that's what they became. Like one of them became like I think a traffic controller or something like that, which I think is one of the more exciting things they could have done. And then one of them just was like one of the many like mechanic-y type peoples. But yeah, who just kind of like went through a checklist. Like yeah, this part's here,
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Like-
we probably want to get back to TV, but
Oh, sorry. So didn't Top Gun have a TV show? Am I making this up?
No, I don't recall it having a TV show. Maybe
Hold
like
on.
a spin-off with like
Yeah,
different-
I'm trying to see real
like an
fast.
inspired. I think maybe it
Yeah.
was inspired.
Maybe I'm just like thinking about Wings, which I think I am, which is a show that yeah, thinking about Wings. Never mind. But which was a show that I watched a few times, which I think was about once again I think it was about Navy actually, not the Air. I keep saying Air Force. Apparently
Wait.
nothing's about the Air Force.
was
Wings, right?
like about a few like private pilots or whatever?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What's the show I'm thinking about then?
Didn't have like a Kelsey Grammer on it because he's I
Aren't
think he's the
you
only person
talking
to
ab-
win like awards for
No,
the same
Wait, is
character on
Kelsey
two shows.
Grammer the one from Frasier?
Yes.
Wanna know a funny Frasier story?
What?
So,
Oh, and Tony Shalhoub was on it.
What about Chalupa?
Tony Shalhoub was on it.
Why Chalupa?
Because there's an
about
episode of
Chalupa?
Monk where they're on a plane and they talk about the show Wings, and because Monk is played by Tony Shalhoub, he has no idea about the show, just as a joke.
There was this one class I was in, and me and my friends were like we were fucking around one day, and we're just like as one does in junior high, and we were making fun of like stuff we'd watch on TV. And at some point, like one of the friends, because Frasier's not really like a show a kid would watch, kind of like that, those kind of like comedy things, like I don't even know what I'm like. Wait, why's my iPad doing this? Sorry, my iPad's like really tripping out.
Pee pee. Pee pee poo poo.
Here's something.
Yeah, dead air.
Alexa thought I said something about the French Revolution. It's giving me all this info about the French
What the
Revolution. Yeah, it's like here's something I found on the web. According to blurred.com, the exact date that marks the outset of the French Revolution is July 14th, 1789.
Yeah.
Thank
isn't
you,
that
Alexa.
Bastille
I did
Day?
not ask for that. Yeah, I did not ask. Apparently, yeah. July 14th, 1789. I did not ask for this information, but Alexa just decided to interrupt. Like literally, I was tripping out because I'm like, why did the stream stop? I thought something was wrong with the stream, which is why I stopped talking. Oh, wait, why
I
did
mean,
Leslie
we're
come
still
just call me a boomer?
Everyone
still
calls you a
going on
boomer,
Twitch,
Manuel.
so yeah, everyone
Oh,
does.
well, anyways, so we're in class and they're making fun of us and like they make fun of us. These kids are like, we're all just they're making fun of me about the shit I watch basically because I was talking shit about them. They're like, yeah, man, or like I was like, you watch that show? Ah, you're stupid. They're like, what do you watch? Do you watch Frasier? It's like, Manuel watches Frasier. By the way, I love
What
kid
the
humor.
fuck?
Like,
That's a
apparently,
cool show.
yeah, apparently that's a bad thing to watch for kids. But they're like, you watch, and mind you, Frasier was like on TV, so this was a very accurate thing to say at the time. And like when they're saying, there was this girl who I really liked who sat like kind of like behind next to me, and she's like, "Oh, did somebody mention Frasier? Oh, no, okay." And I'm like, well, actually, I need to back up a little. So they're saying, "Oh, you like Frasier? Like Frasier?" I'm like, "I don't like Frasier. That show fucking sucks." So as I'm saying that show fucking sucks, this girl I like kind of turns around, and I don't know where the teacher is, by the way, during all this, that we're just shouting, arguing, and everyone's getting involved. This girl turns around, she's like, "Oh, you like Frasier?" And then right as I say that, I'm like, that show fucking sucks. And then she was like,
you ruined
"Oh,
your chance."
yes." She was
How many
like,
times have you blown a chance, Manuel?
Too
So many.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because they all stick with me, but I've told almost everyone, like, don't you guys do that? It's like you remember shit like that. Shit like that never goes away. Like those bastards. Those bastards ruined my chance. And Frasier. And I'm not gonna lie. After that, I made it a point to watch Frasier all the time. And I actually like Frasier.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I heard it's a good show, and like the characters are so
it's good too.
kind of consistent that you can just pitch out an idea and you can kind of see how the episode will go out. Like the one I hear is it his brother Niles goes to a heavy metal concert. I know it's not an episode, but it's like a possible episode that you can imagine.
Yeah, it's a good show. Everyone should watch Frasier. I'm not sure what streaming service has it, but it's a good show. I like it. I recommend it. Maybe if you watch it, a girl will like you. I don't know. I mean, that was a long time ago that happened. That was like, Manuel's stupid. But yeah, that was one of the. Whenever I think of Frasier, I remember that. I remember there was another show that was similar to like Frasier, not so much in terms of concept, but in terms of it was that kind of humor. It was a hit show, but it was that kind of hit show where it's all like kids aren't really watching it, and it was Murphy Brown. And the only reason I'm bringing this show up, and by the way, apparently no one really knows this show. It was on for like 10 fucking years, and it was a huge show. Have you heard of it, JD?
I think I've heard of it only because of like Michael Dukakis getting angry at it or something.
Yeah, apparently people don't like it now. I've never really watched it. It's about like some woman. It's about some woman at some radio show, and all the stuff she experiences. Everyone's all like, "Oh, it's a very conservative show," but then like it's always like it's like conservative view of feminism. But I've never really seen it. I just know people do kind of have weird views on it. But my point to bringing this all up is that I had this friend of mine, and he was that same friend I called Rat Boy and a bunch of other stories. The one I met through Link's Awakening. That when his family, well, we had one too, but like I guess he had easier access to it. He had like one of those illegal boxes, like the black cable boxes, the black boxes we'd call them, that would get you whatever you wanted, like including the pay-per-view channels, including the porn channels. He would record.
Oh
porn.
fuck yeah!
Yeah, he would record. He would record porn for us, and he would label the tapes Murphy Brown. And I don't know where that joke came from or where that reference came from, but I think he just wrote that on there because it was on also. Like maybe that was a channel he would switch to if like somebody came in or something. But he wrote Murphy Brown on the tape, and that became a euphemism of sorts to refer to porn amongst me and my friends during junior high. We would talk about watching Murphy Brown or like our favorite Murphy Brown episode or so on. And I've never seen Murphy Brown really.
Save this for Friday.
Yeah, I've never seen Murphy Brown really. I just know about porn. But yeah, that's a memory. Murphy Brown was a show. I tried to watch a retrospective on it recently on YouTube, and I was all like, yeah, there's no porn related and nobody's going to mention it because that's a very, very personal inside joke. But yeah. I bet you if I dug through those tapes I threw away, there might have still been a Murphy Brown tape or two in there.
Yeah, we know you threw out a lot of media.
Yeah, we knew.
Of old recorded porn. I don't know. Would you have an illegal black box you watch porn on, Nyaru?
You know how AT&T sometimes they have like sample porn channels?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those porn channels, if I'm not mistaken, those sample porn channels. By the way, fun fact: I mentioned this in the past. Everyone gives a lot of flack to the smaller porn companies, like the individual, like Vivid and so on. But the big monsters of porn, as in the big guns, are actually like AT&T and Viacom and so on. I think AT&T is the biggest porn provider in the world. Anyways, I think those channels would like not censor, but they would do special edits. And a lot of times they wouldn't show some of the more like extreme stuff or whatever. But yeah, I remember there was this porn. Now,
Okay, yeah, save it for
JD,
Friday.
I just want to say this one thing real fast. I just remember there was one specific porn channel I used to watch. It was called like the Spice Channel, that would never show cum shots. And I remember when I was when I was and I saw this channel when I was really young, and when I got older and I saw like full porn, I was really confused when I saw a cum shot for the first time. That's my cum shot story. Anyways.
Oh, one thing that was like, it was funny to me. Okay, they would show the tits, they would show the dick, but they wouldn't show the woman parts.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say that. That's actually what I was hinting at. I didn't want to get too like I wasn't sure how vulgar to get this either. I talk about cum shots, but apparently talking about that was me crossing the line. But yeah, that's what I meant. Like they would do special edits where they wouldn't show that, and it was so weird. And a lot of times, like I don't know if they were cropping the frame or if they would just shoot another version, but there'd be scenes where they're actually having sex, and you would just see like maybe
them jumping around.
Yes, exactly. That's the perfect description. So like,
Okay.
them jumping around.
Not X-rated TV.
Jump. Anyway.
Speaking of X-rated TV, I saw an interesting Vice documentary. They're doing like a new series called Dark Side of the 90s. And they actually did one. They did an episode about trash TV. You're like Maury and
no, one of the tapes I threw away, and I actually was gonna keep it, and it was a sealed tape, and I remember specifically where I got it from. I'll tell you that story where I got it from afterwards. But the tape I threw away, I didn't keep it after all, was one of the Jerry Springer Too Hot for TV tapes.
Really?
Yeah, and by the way, when I worked, I used to manage a bookstore called Crown Books. And when I went to the store for the first time, it was kind of a mess, and the stockroom was a huge mess. And when I went to the stockroom, I used to find all these boxes of things that were never open. And in some of the boxes were like softcore porn, and in some of the other boxes, I guess it's still kind of softcore porn, would be like Girls Gone Wild or like Too Hot for TV or Jerry Springer Too Hot for TV or whatever.
Coming back to this, honestly.
Well, no.
Yes, I know there's a point it's connected to the show, but it's just like
no. This is actually relevant though because
you would see it like you would see like on Jerry Springer. It would be
when you stay home from school and you're sick, like, and you just wanted to watch TV, but there was nothing good on like the Cartoon Network channels or anything. Like it was all like the baby stuff.
Oh.
You didn't want to watch the baby stuff, so you just watched whatever was on like the local channel.
No, I'm not talking about the shows. I'm just talking about how it got to the other stuff that he was talking about.
Well, Jerry Springer's a really good example.
Was very vulgar though.
No, the crazy part about Jerry Springer was the show is very, very structured. And like obviously they've long since admitted to that most of it being actors and whatever. But they would come out and they would just start fighting, and like sometimes a girl's top would just get pulled down and you would see blurred titties on TV, and they'd be like, what the it's like, well, what am I doing? Or every so often they would just like sometimes or if even if no fight would break out, the girl would come out, she'd be all like, yeah, woo. And then well, first of all, you hear the audience cheer because they wouldn't just show it right away. Yeah, and then they would cut back to what's going on stage, and the girl just like, titties out, titties out. I'm like, wait, what? Should I be? The answer is no. I should not be watching it. But I'm like, should I be watching this like 8-year-old Manuel pretending I had a fever that day? Pretending my tummy hurt, and I'm just saying, and I'm just like, oh, okay. What I loved, and I think most people have forgotten that Jerry Springer would do this, is when the show would end, he would have a monologue right before the end. Do you remember those, Nyaru?
Yeah.
And he would like sit down. Well, first of all, almost all the shows are about infidelity, so all of them have a similar feel. And he'd be all like, when you don't trust your partner, all that leads to is hurt on both sides. What you should really do is open up lines of communication. I'm making this all up, by the way. What you should really do is open up lines of communication, and a relationship could really benefit from such healthy discussion. Thank you for watching. Take care and good night. Whatever his closing thing was. He actually did have a closing thing.
It's just so ironic that they would always say that, though.
And it was so weird. I'm like, what just happened? I just saw this chick with her titties on, getting her clothes ripped off, and like homeboys all like, just sitting there cheering while these two girls are fighting over him. And it's like they're all kind of like, quote unquote, like, trashy ghetto-y people or whatever. And I'm just like, this is all pandering, and then suddenly he stops everything to like have a quote unquote serious monologue, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what did I just watch?
Here's that doc I was telling you about. It's actually really.
Let me see.
It actually talks to like the executive producers and writers of Jerry Springer.
Did you know that Jerry Springer used to be a serious show in its first year or two?
Yeah, it actually goes into that too.
Okay, yeah. I need to look. I want to bookmark this. Hold on. But yeah, because Jerry Springer used to be a serious show in its first season or so, and then I guess they did an episode where somebody like fought over someone cheating, and it's like, oh shit, everyone liked that. Let's just do that for 10, 20 more years. I think Jerry Springer's canceled now. I don't know for sure, but I think it is.
He's moved on to being a judge on
TV.
Oh yeah, he's a judge.
Well, I guess he's technically like an independent arbiter, but they call him a judge.
Yeah.
Did you know that Jerry Springer at one point in television was actually beating Oprah in the daytime television slots?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I've actually never seen Oprah, which is odd.
Seen Oprah.
Yeah, like you would think I'd have come across that, but I've never seen Oprah. I used to love Maury's still on, apparently, by the way. The dude's like fucking 80, still doing the exact same shit. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I think he actually is 80. But Maury, I remember watching that back in the day. Apparently, he was also a serious show. But then again, he's been on air for like 50 years or some shit. But Maury was the one who's all like, there wasn't much fighting. There were definitely not any titties, I think. But there was a lot of, you are not the father. You are the father,
That's what I knew Maury for.
Or nobody remembers this because I the one who brings this up. It was either the not the father, the other father thing, or boot camp. Remember when they used to send kids to boot camp all the time on these talk shows? I don't think that's a plot point that the talk shows ever do anymore. But when I was younger in the 90s, they would send kids to boot camp all the time in these things. Do you remember that, Nyaru? Or is that just still only a me thing that I'm the only one who remembers it?
No, I remember that.
Yeah, it's all like, oh, so-and-so talks back to me. Well, guess what? And they call out these army people who come out the back from out of nowhere, like drill sergeants, I guess what you call them or whatever. And they just yell in their faces, and they go through boot camp. And usually just be like a day or two. Scared straight kind of thing, but like with boot camp. And yeah, that was it. Or like, but you would see that a lot on, what the fuck was that show? Maury did do it. Jenny, what the fuck was her name?
Yeah.
Jenny something. She would do I like how everyone had their shit.
Ricky Lake?
Hers was
no.
Huh? Hers
Ricky
was
Lake?
boot camp. Maury was paternity test, and Jerry was just cheating people, or just crazy things. I will say this: I think Jerry Springer has aged a little badly, and I'm sure that documentary will talk about it. Because I remember I watched the Jerry Springer movie again, which, by the way, they made a movie. I watched the Jerry Springer movie about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a bit fresher in the mind. I didn't think about this too much then, but it's aged pretty badly. Like like this is back in the day when like being transsexual or whatever was a lot more shocking. So that would be a plot point, and it'd be like
Jenny Jones.
And mind you, I don't think they ever really like it was never used for like, oh, like they never really use slurs and things like that. Well, if they did, it was like the villainy people. It wasn't Jerry, but still, it was kind of like the way it was being sensationalized. It's kind of like, kind of wince a little. It's like, yeah, we probably wouldn't focus the show around that today, kind of thing. Which thankfully was not like all the episodes. So like, but what I find more interesting is, can you believe that somebody made tapes of all the titties and shit that were shown and the fights to sell? And apparently, like, we sold them at the bookstore I worked at, and then I took a tape home, and then I threw it away yesterday or 2 days ago. You are not the father.
I can believe it.
I remember there was this one episode, and There was this one episode. I just remember as a kid, I was just so invested. Actually, it wasn't even an episode. It was like a series of episodes where this one woman. I'm not exaggerating. I'm sure you could. I'm sure there has to be resources for these kind of things. I'm sure somebody has archived all of these stories where this woman brought on like 12 or 13 different men over the course of like 4 or 5 episodes. And then by the time she found the right one, both myself and the audience, you could tell, were just done with it. And it wasn't really even shocking anymore when it's all like, because they're like, okay, we brought you on 4 other times. Is this really the guy this time? Are you sure? She's like, yeah, I'm sure. You know, they're always sure. It's like are you sure? It's like, yeah, I'm sure it has to be him. And they're like, yeah, you're the father. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm like, this was anticlimactic. I've been watching this for like the past 4 months unfold. I've been watching this, like, who's the father of this baby? But I don't know. It was trashy, but we all watched it. Nyara, what are your views on trash TV? Before we
They're
move on to a
good.
funny
They're
topic.
they're like a guilty pleasure.
It's like
That's
eating really
really
crappy
it.
fast food.
Yeah, it's like eating McDonald's. Like, you know it's bad for you, but you still do it because it's just a guilty pleasure.
We didn't go into updates, but I wanted to update everyone about how, like, I actually was very sick up until this morning. So I ate McDonald's yesterday after the whole fucking storage unit thingy, and I got really sick. And I was like, oh my god, I have not been sick from food in a while. And part of me was all like, should I complain about McDonald's and like I don't know, like I rented that food. Let's just leave it like that. Anyways, I do not want to eat McDonald's for a while. That's my McDonald's story.
Okay.
Haven't
Let's
had
talk about
McDonald's in so
other
long.
shows. I haven't mentioned any shows.
What?
What did Manuel watch?
Wait,
Huh.
wait. Actually, can we talk about cartoons?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was shifted to. Because I'm like,
Okay, cool.
like a lot of my shit that I used to watch, even my comfort shit now. Like I think I put on King of the Hill a lot. That's like one of my
Oh my
go-to
god,
shows.
that's another go-to of mine that I put on in the background when I
Did
really
you
have
know?
nothing to watch.
I only found this out because one of those lost media YouTubers did a video about it. That show that's within King of the Hill, that show that Peggy watches, the one about the priest who's like a killer priest, who's like Vaya con Dios. You know, like the one.
Yeah.
Did you know they actually filmed a pilot for a live action version of that, and it was going to be a show?
Like a spin-off?
Yes, like, but a live action spinoff. Like, it was gonna, like, the
What?
show within a show was gonna become a show. Okay, that sounded weird. I used the word show too many times there. But yeah,
I've seen it happen.
I've never heard of that happening. I've heard of that happening. I never heard of this until I watched this lost media video. I forgot who the fuck did it. I was trying to find it and link it for YouTube. But yeah, apparently we're gonna make that into its own show at some point. And the pilot never got picked up. No one's still seen the whole pilot. Only clips of it have shown up in the end. I think the script. But yeah, I would love to see that show by like a fucking killer priest or whatever, a Mexican killer priest. But yeah, but yeah, I love King of the Hill. There's all of the infamous episodes, you know, like, I don't know you, let go of my purse. How was it like as a former Texan watching that show, Nyar?
Actually, pretty accurate.
I know that there's there was a thing, and I don't think they were quoting King of the Hill, but I've been told this in real life, because like there's this part where they go to this restaurant, and it's one of those beef thingies where you eat the 72-pound, and it's not that big, but you know,
72
you eat
ounce.
the 72. I'm not 72-pound. You eat the 72-ounce steak, and then you, like, if you eat it all, it's free. Which I think is based on a real challenge. This
I forget on Man vs. Food.
Yeah, I forget. It's that thing with the cowboy, but well, you know, the restaurant with the cowboy, the big giant cowboy outside. But yeah, Man vs. Food did a very famous episode there, and I think he won, if I'm not mistaken.
I think pretty quickly.
But I remember, like, there was a scene in that where Hank asked how much the steak costs if you don't finish it, and the waitress is all like, "My daddy used to always say," you know, with a Texan accent, "My daddy used to always say that, like, if you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it." I used to have an aunt who would always say that to me. Like, not even about food, but that was her go-to saying for anything. Like, and I'm like, I used to always think that was really fucked up advice, because, like, basically the implication was, don't ask how much something costs, just buy it, you know? Because she, like, literally she would use it for anything. For example, if I'm like, I kind of want this book, how much is it? Oh, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. You know, like, wait, what? She would literally say it about anything. But my point is, when I saw that King of the Hill, I'm like, did she learn it from King of the Hill? I'm sure she didn't. She was an old lady.
That's not a purse. I don't know you.
Dude, oh man, the favorite part about that episode is that within the episode, it ends with him kicking Peggy or trying to kick Peggy, because that was the whole point. Is that like he uses kicking people in the nuts to like get away from like a lot of fights,
Mhm.
and then he kicks Peggy there, and it doesn't work. She's like, "It doesn't work for me. I have a vagina," or whatever she said. Like some weird line she would always say, and like she always said the weird shit. I think she worded that kind of weird. She's like, "I have a vagina. I don't have a penis," or whatever. And then she beats up Bobby or whatever. But I'm like, wouldn't it still hurt if somebody kicked you in the crotch? Like
It
wouldn't.
does.
It wouldn't be a death. Like believe me, like the pain if somebody kicks you hard enough. First of all, I think you could actually get seriously injured if you kick a guy hard enough. But
Mhm.
but if you kick a girl, like you're still getting kicked in the crotch. You're still gonna be like, ow, like please don't do that. I just thought that was a funny plot point. I'm like, wait, that would still hurt.
Yeah.
Like, why is she acting like she's like there's like a fucking protective layer of bone down there or something? I don't know, but she
Maybe she
acted
got-
like it didn't. Huh?
I'm just saying, maybe she's got one of those metal chastity belts on.
Yeah, you seen the episode, right? That was like,
No.
the whole like climax of it. Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I'm just riffing.
Oh well, that was the climax of the episode. It always bothered me. It also bothered me that nobody ever kicked him in the nuts, because that would have been the best like way to have ended the episode. Is like just kick him in the nuts. He'll learn really fast. This is why you don't do this.
Yeah.
By the way, this is mildly off topic, but I want to mention this. Have you ever seen Bloodsport, Nyaru?
What?
Bloodsport, the movie Bloodsport.
No.
With
It's an 80s action movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he joins.
I don't even know who I don't know who that is.
You know who Jean-Claude Van Damme is?
No.
He was in Street Fighter, the movie. He played Guile.
Did not watch that.
He was in Kickboxer, which is
In-
basically Bloodsport, but like in like Thailand. He what's a big movie he's been in, JD, that she would know? Like, I feel like everyone knows Jean-Claude Van Damme.
yeah, like I've never even seen one of his movies, and I know who he is.
Yeah, everyone knows him. Anyway, I'll just continue real fast. I'm sure you know Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage, right?
Yeah.
They based this thing off of something that he did in Bloodsport. There's a move that he does in the tournament where he does the splits and punches the guy in the balls, and that's how he wins the fight. And he does this against like this huge, like, I think he's like supposed to be a sumo wrestler. He does it against this huge like guy from like, I think he's fighting from Japan, who's way bigger than him, who's like beating his way through his whole brackets in the tournament. So Jean-Claude's like, hey, I can't beat this guy. I'm gonna punch him in the nuts. And mind you, this is a no hold barred like tournament. People get killed in it or whatever. But part of me still feels that punching someone in the nuts should be an illegal move, because I'm like, isn't that the way? Like, wouldn't you just like keep doing that if you could do that? Isn't that the way you would just immediately go for the nuts? Because that's the perfect way to end any fight. By the way, fun fact: if you ever want to self-defense 101, like, first of all, if you have to defend yourself, things are probably in a bad situation anyway. But if you ever want to hurt a guy the most, just fucking go straight for the nuts. Just hit him as hard as you can, tear him to shreds, do what you can. I guarantee you, they will. It will cause them distress at the very least.
I always stick to the good old Seng method: solar
What's that?
plexus, instep, nose, groin. Thank you, Miss Congeniality.
Oh yeah. I mean, the nose is a very soft spot too. Like, I've actually got my, like, I'm the kind of person, if you even like tap my, I've gotten into too many fights to tell you about this whole, about why I know this, but if you even like tap my nose, like, just Bridget, I've even been in Taekwondo, and it's like I've been like kind of hitting the nose, that shit'll fucking just start gushing blood. But
All right. We've
but
gone off on
anyways.
this tangent for a bit.
Oh yeah, sorry, TV. You ever watch TV with blood? More cartoons. No, say some cartoons besides King of the Hill.
Ed, Edd and Eddy. Did you watch Ed, Edd and Eddy?
Yes.
I love Ed, Edd. Actually, speaking of Ed, Edd and Eddy and a whole bunch of like other classic cartoons like Courage the Calorie Dog and Adventure Time and all those, you can actually find them on what do you call it, HBO Max.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they're owned
all
by
the class
Warner.
all the classic cartoons can be found on HBO Max. Like, I'm gonna pull up my HBO Max and show you.
This
Not show
segment,
you, but
this segment is brought to you by HBO Max. Please sponsor us. HBO Max.
honestly, HBO Max fucking slaps. It's one of the best like Um,
I,
one of the best streaming services because it has literally everything I like. It has South Park, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. What else do they have? They also got the new space drama not space drama, Space Jam that I still need to watch. What else do they have on the Cartoon Network thing?
Space Jam wasn't good though.
I still want
Wait,
to
the
watch
original
it.
or this one?
The
The
new
original,
one.
or this one.
Okay,
Well,
so they have Adventure Time, Gumball, the original Ben 10 series.
wait, wasn't
Chowder.
there a live action Ben 10? Or am I making that up?
Yes, they even
Movies.
have a
Movies,
live
yeah.
action movie.
But I
They
remember
have
there was a live action Ben 10, yeah.
They have Codename Kids Next Door and Operation Zero.
Wait,
Courage the
aren't
Calorie
those all
Dog.
Nickelodeon?
No, those are all Cartoon Network.
Who
Oh,
are
Cartoon
you?
Network.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is yeah. Courage the
Paramount, I
Calorie
believe,
Dog.
owns Nickelodeon, so you're gonna go to Paramount Plus, a mountain of entertainment. Please sponsor us.
I was just promoting Disney Plus
They
for all the TCOMs.
They also have Dexter's Lab, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Billy and Mandy, the original Powerpuff Girls, and the new Powerpuff Girls, sadly, the original Teen Titans, regular show the movie, and of course all the Steven Universe, and that's really all that's notable. TBH.
Did you mention there that I really want to talk about? One, Teen Titans. I like Teen Titans. I don't know if I say I love it. I still like watching it. I used to get it confused with the other show that came after it that no one liked. What's that one called? Do you remember, JD? There was like this other show, but like, oh, that's like the bad Teen Titans. It was like the same characters, but I think it was like meant for younger kids.
I do
Young
not
Justice.
remember them.
Young
What?
Justice. It was called Young
What
Justice.
do you mean? I thought like lots of people loved Injustice or Young Justice.
Yeah, I thought nobody liked it. Or let me phrase Teen. Anyways, my Teen
It
Titans
didn't sell
thing.
enough toys, but people loved it because it was a different demographic. Than
Teen
the
Titans
kids.
Go. There you go. Teen Titans Go. That's sorry. Actually,
Oh.
it was Teen Titans Go I was thinking about.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Never mind. Sorry. It was Teen Titans Go that no one liked. Teen Titans Go no one liked, and that's actually the one that I kind of liked more. What not everyone's gonna hate me for that. But what also really bothered me was that I grew up loving Puffy Amiyumi. By the way, that's a cartoon.
That is a cartoon and an actual real life band.
Thank you. But that's the issue I'm gonna get at. I love Puffy Amiyumi. By the way, I think they're technically known as Puffy until they came over here, and they had to change their name because like Puff Daddy. I think even now he's P Diddy, and now he might be something else for all I know. But I think it was funny because he made them change the name, but then he stopped using the name almost immediately. Like that was around the P Diddy time where he's all like, "Yeah, I'm P Diddy from now on." But anyways, they became Puffy Amiyumi. But what bothers me is that people only know them for the Teen Titans thing, and I'm like, they're so good though. They have so many good songs. I love them. Yeah, another really fun song that people might know them for, which they should check it out if they don't, is they have this song called Tokyo I'm on My Way. That was a very weeby song when I was younger, and it's written by what the fuck's his name? The vocalist from Offspring. I want to say his name is Chester something, but I might be wrong.
I'll look it up. Just go on.
But yeah, the vocalist from The Offspring wrote that song, and it's a great little like punk pop song from like the early 2000s. Anyways, I like Teen Titans. Also, Powerpuff Girls. I used to like watching the Powerpuff Girls. I don't like the new Powerpuff Girls, and that's all I gotta say about that. I used to have an ex-girlfriend who would love them. And yeah, that was. Did you like watching Powerpuff Girls when you were younger, Nyaru? Or now?
Fuck yeah, that I don't like the new one, but the original, like that was my fucking jam.
Anyone like the new Powerpuff?
I had 2 Powerpuff Girl birthday parties.
Oh really?
Yes.
That sounds fun.
All with the whole ass set from Party City and Walmart and wherever else I can find shit.
Party City. Oh, Party City. By the way, what did you find out his name? JD?
Oh, yeah. I think it's Brian Dexter Holland.
There you go. Actually, that definitely is his name because I remember when I was younger, I recognized the name, and then like this is like the early 2000s, so I was like, "Is that actually him?" And I googled it, and yeah, it was. Or I probably didn't Google it. I probably Yahoo'd it.
Speaking of like cartoons, okay, like cartoons we watched when we were growing up, okay. What about baby cartoons, like baby kids shows? Which ones did y'all watch?
Well, the thing is, I definitely was the Barney age.
Yeah, okay, I was Barney.
Yeah.
I watched Barney. I watched Blue's
Blue's Clues.
Clues. I'm trying to think what else did I think really those are the only two I remember is Barney and Blue's Clues. Oh, and Sesame Street too. I did watch Sesame Street,
Mhm.
but I spent most of my time on like Cartoon Network.
I'm pretty sure besides Barney, which would only come around so often.
Oh,
Also,
Bear in the Big Blue House too. I love that show, Bear in the Big Blue House. That was a good one too.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm too old for Bear in the Big Blue House. But when I got older and I finally saw it because like of a nephew or a niece and like that, I was so confused because obviously it's Bear in a Big Blue House, but I thought the
Yeah.
bear was gonna be blue, so I was very disappointed that it was just a bear. Like it was just a brown bear, you know. Like I was very disappointed.
I
was expecting
remember
like a Blue's Clues
my
bear.
grandparents took me to Disney, like still when Bear in the Big Blue House was like at its peak. And they had like the Playhouse Disney area at Hollywood Studios in Florida. And they would do like live stage shows of like the different kids shows or like the baby shows that they would show on Playhouse Disney. And oh my god, I saw Bear in the Big Blue House live when I went to Disney, and boy did I was a literal screaming kid. I was like, yo, that's fucking Bear! Let's go!
Bear, my homie bears.
Let's fucking go!
I mean, that's valid. When I was see, the thing is, also I should mention that the same aunt who would always tell me about like, oh, you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it. She used to sit me in front of like the Christian network or whatever the fuck it was called,
Oh,
the broadcasting
God.
channel,
CBN.
and yeah, it is funny because every so like, mind you, they did show a lot of cartoons during a certain block, but it would also turn to like just fucking church service like on TV, so it'd get really awkward. But I do remember I didn't notice at the time, but I did watch the Kimba the White Lion sequel called Jungle Emperor Leo. I watched that when it was on CBN without
Oh.
realizing it. So I technically
Yeah.
watched anime from a very young age. And they also
Yeah.
showed like other Japanese animation Bible stories. I'm not sure what that show was called, but yeah, there was some. It was definitely anime though, and I've seen it
Ye-
like referenced elsewhere. But yeah, what are you saying?
You know what else I watched? I
Hmm.
watched Clifford the Big Red Dog. All the PBS shows, honestly. Anything they
Oh,
showed
yeah.
on PBS in the 2000s.
Arthur.
God bless. Arthur. Yeah, I was just
It
about
just
to
got
mention
canceled.
Arthur, actually.
Oh yeah, it's his last season.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I always thought Arthur was like canceled a long time ago.
Your mom is canceled, anyways.
Did you know that line about like, did you think that they'd really like put lies on the internet or whatever? Did you know that episode is like 15 years old?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
So technically, I mean, like obviously it's a big haha lol now, but technically I can kind of see a boomer writing that line like for real, like like 15 years ago. We're talking like a pre-Facebook. Well, I guess Facebook probably was already around by that point, but probably a pre-open Facebook days, like when the internet was so different.
Yeah.
It's just like insane when you think about. But yeah, do you think people will make up lies and put them on the internet or whatever? I've actually never watched Arthur.
That episode is the reason why I lie on the internet.
My other favorite meme is the one where it's all like I don't know what that character's name is, that girl, where it's
DW.
all like, yeah, when she's reading the sign and it says something, and she's like, well, like thank God I can't read or whatever that thing is. I forgot what the meme.
This sign can't stop me because I can't read.
Did she really say that?
I'm pretty sure that sounds like something she would unironically say.
I've always wondered if she really said that, but yeah. This sign can't stop me because I can't read. Oh
This
man.
sign can't Oh, what's another good like baby show? Like I'm talking good. Oh, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast.
Okay.
From
that
Nowhere
one-
Land.
Yeah, okay. I'm still too old for that one, but I remember like that was the one my nephew started watching, and I used to like that show. I used to like ironically like, oh, let's watch this show, and I'd be like kind of watching it like, yeah, I can actually sit here and not be too annoyed while my nephew's just like giggling at this incessantly, But I actually like that show. I forgot all about that show. Is that the Great Googly Moogly one? Or is that another show?
Yeah, the Great Googly
Yeah.
Moogly. That's what they were
Great
afraid of.
Googly Moogly.
They were
Yeah.
afraid of him because they were gonna scare him. Oh, here's another good one. Teletubbies. Did that shit scare you, or was that your jam?
Uh,
That was my jam, actually. I had a Teletubbies party.
you
I don't
would.
think I ever watched it, actually.
Don't watch it.
No, my nephew was the perfect age to the same nephew who fucking was watching Maggie and the Ferocious Beast was the perfect age to watch Teletubbies at its height. So I had to watch a lot of it. That show weirded me out because other show like nothing happened and there was like no dialogue.
It was literally made for babies' brain stimulation. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly. It literally is meant for babies. First of all, like literally for babies.
It's
like,
supposed to be like color and sound stimulation.
Yeah, it just tripped me the fuck out. And I remember like even as
That's
a kid,
why it's so weird.
and we definitely made the joke, but we never actually did it. Funny enough, it was always a thing. Like I bet you this would be fun high, like watching when you're high, but we never experimented on that, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure it would be because there was always a lot of like.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. They were supposed to be mimicking baby noises.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure that's why that show did so well in general. Because like, don't have to translate shit if you ever bring it to another region or like anywhere. Just play it as it is. And like the fucking baby in the sun and everything. That show was kind of creepy.
You know what show pissed me off? Because my sister used to watch this one a lot. Max and Ruby. Did that show ever piss you off?
Max and Ruby. No, hold on. What show is this?
It's the one with the bunnies. It's like the older sister and then the younger brother. And then there's like a rumor going around that apparently Max is supposed to be autistic, which now I feel bad for being upset when I was watching this when I was smaller. Because I was like, why can't he just be normal? And it's like, oh, that's probably why. Like 20 years later, I realized, wait, that's why he's like that. Oh God.
Nyaru's a monster, confirmed. No, just kidding. She learned her lesson. No, you talk about annoying shows. Caillou was the show that I could never.
Caillou was fucking annoying too. What the fuck?
Now the funny thing about Caillou is all like, who the ever watched it or let their kids watch it? Because from what I understand, the consensus is that it was annoying. I've yet to meet anyone who has anything positive to say about it. Period. But like mommy, the fucking
he
kid
would throw tantrums. Like
yes,
that was the worst show you should not let your kids watch.
That's what I'm saying. He would literally throw tantrums, and I know it's a very unpc thing to say, but I always make that joke. Just like smack the kid, like fucking kid annoys the fuck out of me. But that fucking show made like that show to me was like instant. What's the word I'm looking for?
And you know,
birth control. Instant birth control. I was like, I ain't having no kids.
You know what? Little Bill honestly slaps.
Oh,
and I think a Little Bill is like the better version of Caillou.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even when I was a kid, I used to get those two confused. By the way, and I remember like I had a girlfriend at the time who would also help me babysit my nephew. I know all these stories had to do with my nephew because I was about the age I was like in my early teenage years.
Yeah, because like when I was baby, you were like
so I would have been babysitting you basically. So yeah, but I remember like when I was babysitting my nephew, he was like a literal baby, but because he's quite a bit younger than you, like a few years. But anyways, I was babysitting my nephew, and I remember I used to get that show confused, like, we're not watching Caillou, and then my girlfriend would be like, no, this is the good one. This is Little Bill. This is like the good version. She said, like,
this is what Caillou should have been, but then white people ruined it.
And now it's ruined forever. Thank you, Cosby.
Oh my God, Cosby ruined
everything. No.
We don't want to bring that up. Let's not bring.
Wait, I forgot he was on there. What the fuck?
Who do you think Bill was?
Yeah, exactly. Like, who do you think the little Bill was?
I thought he was actually a kid voicing him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I only remember that when you brought that up. He was the little Bill. Oh my God, we brought up Bill Cosby on accident.
I'm so sorry.
You're very sorry.
Since we already crossed that bridge, I wanted to bring this up one last time forever. I actually used to love watching the Cosby Show and other shows like that. So it's always weird trying to wrap my head around so much of that I watched. So like, what do you do with that now? But I did watch A Different World, which is a much better show anyway, which he was not really involved. He was never on. But everyone go watch that if you want a good.
But you want to know which show really slapped though?
Yeah.
Wonder Pets.
Okay, Wonder Pets was good.
It was so good.
The duck was my favorite. Wait, was he a duck?
She,
yes. Was she a duck? Or was she like a special species? Okay,
No,
she wasn't like.
it was a duck, a hamster, and a turtle.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I love the duck. I used to non-ironically have like Wonder Pets. Wonder Pets, go! Is that Wonder Pets? Yes.
With the Wonder Pets
Yeah.
and Pussy. I don't fucking remember
Pussy.
it.
What the fuck is that line, pussy? When in doubt, just shout pussy.
I believe that's Nyaru's motto.
I couldn't remember. That's a song I couldn't remember either. Oh
You want to
man.
know what's the most annoying show though? Like the most annoying kids show, like that actually kind of beats Caillou. It's
What?
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig.
Okay, I've never watched Peppa Pig. Like until
Good,
you-
don't.
Yeah, my Peppa Pig experience is only all the memes that have come from it.
That's the only thing that kind of saves the show. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's like it's doomed to be in meme hell forever.
like I was saying, like I was trying to say earlier, like I used to watch a lot of PBS, or I think it was PBS, but
Mhm.
like I never watched the cartoons when I was younger. Like that was the channel that also had the Carmen Sandiego show, right? I
Oh
used to
yeah,
watch-
no, that was PBS had the
Wait, which one?
Carmen Sandiego.
The
Well,
live
you know,
action like game show or the
Yeah.
cartoon?
Oh, the live action. The cartoon was on a network, I think,
I think it was
right?
on Fox or WB.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, the live action was like, where in the world is Carmen
Carmen
Sandiego? Because it
Sandiego.
was like the acapella band or whatever. Like the bass
Yeah.
guy would be like Carmen Sandiego. I used to watch that. I used to watch Degrassi High, even though I was way too young for that. Which I'm sure nobody remembers Degrassi High. Everyone probably grew up on Degrassi because I'm way too old to. Like I should have been watching.
I remember Clifford. Oh my god, I went to the PBS
Clifford.
Kids website so I can look at like all the shows and remember. Okay, so I remember Arthur, I remember Clifford, Cyber Chase, I remember that. Trying to see. Man,
I'm
these
trying
are
to look
so
up kid
new,
shows
what
in the
the
2000s.
fuck?
I mean, kids.
Sesame Street. Wow, I do remember watching some of the Wild Kratts, but that was like I was just about to like,
See,
be at
I'm
the age where it was
confused.
kind of.
Everyone mentions Sesame Street a lot when they bring up kid shows. I don't know what channel ever showed Sesame Street, but I've
It
never
was
seen.
PBS Kids. It's always
Was it?
been it's always been a PBS Kids thing.
I feel like I've never watched Sesame Street in my life. That's the funny thing. Like I used to watch clips of it, like when we'd watch it at school. Sometimes, like we'd have a teacher who'd like put it on randomly for us. Like, oh, we have a little break time and put on a tape of like random Sesame Street I recorded, and we'd watch that for a bit. But that would be like my one exposure. I never watched it on TV. I always like, so it was on PBS. Like, I feel like I would have come across it.
It's always been on PBS.
I don't know. Maybe my local PBS sucked, but then again, it couldn't have. It was the LA PBS. Not the LA has all the good shit, but like you would think the LA PBS would have it.
Sesame Street takes place in New York.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying you would think a big city like LA would have like the
Hold
big
on,
show.
I'm gonna look at the history of like their.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm actually trying to see what network. Also, I remember I used to. Oh shit. This is random, but like I remember when I was in this is not random, it's about TV though. But I remember like I didn't have cable for a brief period, like in between the black box period and when I was like whatever. Well we never had legal cable, so I was like in high school because my
Okay, yeah, it says here PBS from 1969 to 2015, second run from 2016 to present.
See, then I don't know. Maybe it was just on a weird time and I just never saw it.
Well, Sesame Street was always in the mornings, like when you're first waking up. It was like
maybe that's why.
that wake up show that you would go watch, and then like you eat breakfast and you get ready to watch Sesame Street, and then by the time Sesame Street's done, because they were like 30-minute to hour-long showings, if it depending if they showed it like back to back, then you'll go have lunch with your mom or whoever's staying home with you, and then
you go watch more.
then you watch more PBS Kids.
Oh man, I don't know. It's like, do they even show cartoons in the morning anymore? I feel like that's a thing of the past too.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing of the past too. Like I remember waking up on Saturday mornings to watch the 4Kids line up on whatever fucking network that they would change it on every single fucking year because they always changed it. I always had to find it because I never knew. And I would watch Sonic X, Tokyo Mew Mew,
I was gonna say,
like that was my first like introduction to anime.
No,
I
was
love
4Kids.
I love how you basically have the modern version of what I was gonna say, because I would watch the old Sonic cartoon, the one
Yeah,
where it was
Sonic
like
Underground, Sonic,
yeah,
what do you
and then
call
I
it?
would
Yeah.
they would also show Sailor Moon at this in this block around this time. So I would watch anime then too. It's like what the hell? Like I think Sailor Moon was earlier though, like earlier in my life. I mean, but yeah, I would watch the Sailor Moon like what the sailor says and like Luna
Uh-huh.
sounds like a nanny in that dub. I always hated that when I eventually heard the real dub. Um, no, speaking of Sailor Moon dub, real fast, the Deke dub, fucking what's her name? They call her what's her real name? They call her Molly in the US one.
Naru.
What the hell's her? Yaru?
Naru.
Was it? Oh, Naru.
Naru.
I'm like, was it? Yeah, your character, the friend of Usagi or whatever, Molly. I hated that she had like, I don't even know what that accent is in the
I
dub.
think it's supposed to be
That-
Jersey.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know which one you're talking. It's like a New
Yeah.
Jersey accent.
yeah, she had that. It like she sounded.
It's supposed to show us that there's different accents and everything in the world. Like Sailor Moon was actually supposed to be a kid show
It
for
annoyed
like
me.
US audiences.
It annoyed the fuck out of me. I was
It
like, her
annoyed
voice.
the fuck out of me too. Okay.
Like I remember watching it. I know it's a different accent, so don't attack me on that. But it used to remind me of like, you ever watch The Nanny? It reminded me of that of the
Wow.
Fran Drescher?
Manuel
I know the different
Manuel
accents.
is racist against accents. Can you believe
And
it?
it'd be like Mr. Sheffield or whatever. I should be like, oh my
Mr.
god.
Sheffield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to fucking want to burn my ears off. I'm like, oh my god.
I love
But
the
yeah.
nanny. Fuck you.
Oh my god, you love it. I hated the
Oh,
nanny.
okay.
I
We-
like the nanny. I like Full
It's
House too.
Yes,
It's
Full House.
actually-
Okay, but first, we
Oh.
need to start
No,
wrapping up soon.
no.
But I have something I
You
want to say on Saturday cartoons.
Okay, what?
I was more of a kids WB kind of guy, and I can still
Yo,
do like
let's go.
one of like they had a rap to let you know which schedule or what shows were in what order, and I can still do that. I still remember that.
Wait, can you do it?
Yeah.
Do it now.
Do it now. I know we're all just gonna wait for it now. You shouldn't have
Yeah,
said
we're just
shit.
gonna wait.
First up, X-Men to start your day. Then comes Static, he's ready to play. Then comes Spells from Jackie Chan. Then comes Zeta, Funky Robot Man. Johto League Champions showing some skills. Another episode of X-Men Thrills. Yu-Gi-Oh! He's a Bro. Card Game Coolio. Mommy's in the house, and now we're all good to go.
Yeah.
My god, I remember the Jackie Chan show. I forgot all about that.
Dude,
Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh too, like the OG Yu-Gi-Oh.
I just remember there was a girl on Yu-Gi-Oh who had like the big boobs. That was my first experience of like big anime titties.
My
I was
Valentine?
really confused. Is that her name?
The blonde one? Yes.
Yeah, all I remember was that there was big anime titties. It was my first time ever seeing big anime titties, and I was like, "Whoa, this is waking up, baby Manuel, baby man." I didn't mean my penis. I meant like young Manuel. But anyways, no, moving on. Real fast about Full House. Do you remember that one episode of Full House? I forgot what the point of the episode was, but there was a nightmare sequence where she has really big feet. I think it's Stephanie, by the way.
Yeah.
Where she has really big feet. That has still stuck with me. I don't remember what the fuck that episode was about, because there was a similar thing that happened on Married with Children, which is another show I used to love. Fun fact about Married with Children, I used to watch that show when I was like fucking 5 years old, like in first grade. And I remember I told my first grade teacher, and I used to go to Christian school, by the way. I told my first grade teacher I'd watched that show the night before, and she was so upset. She had a conference with my parents about it, about how they should watch what I watch, which I probably should have, to be fair. I'm not saying that was like, but yeah, I just remember like, anyways, I just remember there was a big feet episode, and I was just like, what the fuck is
I
this?
think that episode was about like actually like her being self-conscious about her feet.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it?
It was
Yes.
supposed to be. It was supposed to be like, man, all the girls have like small feet, and I had to like go to like a different store for like my like even like King of the Hill had an episode about this.
Oh yeah. Well, the funny thing that you bring this up is because King of the Hill went down the path that I'm saying. Like, I wonder if that was what that episode was about. Because I made me think about Dan Schneider later on.
Dan
It's like,
Schneider, oh god.
Yeah.
Because the King of the Hill episode, when they had that same plot point, the whole thing is, for those who've never seen it, Peggy has big feet. She has to go to the special store for it. They actually make that running joke for seasons leading up to it, till they actually make a focus episode about it. And in
Mhm.
that, she ends up getting tricked into doing like
Feet
fetish
porn.
stuff. Yeah, feet porn. Yeah, I was gonna say that
We
word.
come
But yeah,
back
feet
to
porn.
this.
Where she-
Where
Feet
does this bring
porn!
back to me?
and I've always wondered, like, because like, mind you, that stuck with me because it was a very nightmarish imagery of the Full House thing, where like the giant feet scared the fuck out of me. I was like having nightmares. I swear to God. I was like really young when I saw that too. Is now looking back on it, because I remember they showed her real feet too a lot in that episode, because like that was like now that you're kind of jogging my memory, that was totally about her feet. I'm like, was that just like some weird Dan Schneider bullshit? Was like, I want to see. Didn't he have that
No, I
contest
think
like send me
I
your
think
feet?
that was actually a legitimate like
Yeah, it probably was.
episode.
Yeah,
Like,
Not
it was like a
Dan
body image one without getting too much into body image, and that's the
Yeah,
that
yeah.
episode is the only reason I know that the phrase toe-headed means blonde.
Yikes. Oh yeah, that I don't know if it was that episode that taught me that, but I think it was that show that taught me that.
I looked it up.
Also,
It's that episode.
yeah,
Because, like, Joey says,
toe-headed.
my head looks like a toe, and they're like, what? Yeah, people would call me towhead, and then Danny has to explain him. That's a slang for blonde.
It wasn't because I think up until that, actually that's probably exactly where I learned it too, because I think I heard that term in passing and you read it a lot, and it always like, what does that mean? And I'm kind of curious. I'll look it up, and someone looked that up and tell me later on about how that came to mean that. But yeah, shit like that always like strikes me as like, how did that come to mean blonde, toe-headed? I know it's TOW, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's it. We're gonna end with feet like we always do. If you Leslie's feet were featured prominently or a bit prominently on the last DTL, so we're in with feet. There's been a lot of feet talk. I don't understand people's obsession with feet, but I guess since we've been talking about more extreme fetishes on the other show FAP, which is happening this Friday, plug for that.
and also speaking of feet, I have a feet stream coming out
Are you
soon
serious?
tomorrow.
You're not joking. Oh, you're not
Yeah,
joking.
I'm actually not joking.
What is this? I swear to God, we did not plan to end. We did not plan to talk about feet. Somehow it just led to feet. All roads lead to feet.
This is a Nyaru long con.
Yeah, exactly. This is all of. We actually, even though it seemed like we were just making the show up as we went along, we actually had this all scripted. This all was scripted. We were just coming along to the end, so we had to talk about feet. It's all about feet.
Yes,
everyone.
I'm having a feet stream though tomorrow. I guess we can get started with what we're doing.
Yeah, let's do it. You gonna draw feet?
Yeah, I'm going to be drawing with my feet. Oh shit, my
Oh,
it's
really?
into my
Like,
model.
are you really gonna be doing that?
Yeah, like legit, I'm gonna be like drawing with my feet because it's a punishment. It's a punishment stream for what do you call it?
What did you do?
Because I had a you laugh you lose media and I lost obviously.
Oh.
So my chat chose the punishment and this was the result of it. It's a drawing feet. So
I mean, that's
drawing
a
with
pretty
my
odd
feet.
one.
And I'm not gonna be showing my feet, but I am gonna be taking a request.
draw
I'm gonna be taking
your feet.
$5 and I'll draw something with my feet. And people will know. Maybe I'll reconsider. Like maybe I'll put on like socks or something. I'm not too sure, but maybe I'll figure out logistics for it. I don't know. Maybe I will show my feet, but I don't have.
Are your feet that dexterous?
Huh?
Like
no.
Are your feet that
dexterous? I heard practicing like doing ABCs with your feet can help like coordination with them. It's actually like a therapy technique. That's used for like people who.
Oh, go ahead. Therapy for what? People who what?
Therapy for people who like are trying to regain motion or like trying to like exercise like their legs and their feet. Yeah, it's a common exercise actually used. So I've been told using or spelling out ABCs with your feet helps a lot. So I've been doing that this whole podcast.
Oh my God, you've been practicing. I mentioned.
Yeah, until now, of course, because I just started looking at my feet and I stopped. So
I mentioned this on the. I forgot if it was DTL or not, but I mentioned that I used to have this. I used to have this ex-girlfriend, and her best friend, who we hung out with a lot when we went back to her hometown. Her best friend was like kind of infamous for having very dexterous feet, and I didn't mention this part, but she used to like one of her tricks was that she would like draw things with her feet also, nothing too complex, but she had a very interesting system where she would like do like some of the more faster movements with her foot. Like this is my foot, well this is her foot. She would hold it here like with the thumb or the big toe, she'd draw, and then when it came time doing like more finer moments, she would do this and use both feet and then like go more carefully. So I'm just curious if you're gonna use both feet or not. That's my big question.
It's gonna depend on how my practice run goes.
Yeah, that's my big question because it was actually quite amazing to see her do it because I'm like, oh, she's gonna use both feet. Like she's clearly worked this out where she knows what works and what doesn't. And even funnier, she must have had things that she knew how to draw already because when she was using both feet, especially when she was using both, but when she's using her one foot also, you couldn't really tell what she was drawing. She couldn't see it. Like her foot was just like blocking it kinda. It was a lot of like, I hope this line's straight. I hope this is going okay. Because it's not like when you're drawing with your hand where you can just easily see.
Okay, man.
Anyways,
now that we've talked about
that's
feet,
the
let's talk
thing.
about the A to J schedule for this week.
Tomorrow, the Wednesday A to J Adventures is still on hiatus. That's mainly my call because I still have a lot of other bullshit in my life going on right now. Mainly that storage unit. Don't want to scare anyone like something crazy is happening. I guess the storage unit is crazy, but being in that storage unit, I'm still going through it. It's not my storage unit. It's mainly like, but I did have a lot of childhood things in there, so I'm trying to just throw away my childhood.
Let's fucking go.
Which is actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like obviously, there's a lot of moments where it's like, I wish I could keep all this stuff. But now that I know all this stuff is really gonna be gone soon, it's this big weight off, like a literal weight off my shoulders, where I'm just like, I kind of feel like I could move wherever I want now and not have to worry about like leaving behind a stupid footprint. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's gonna be on a hiatus still, so don't fret. That'll be back next week. On Friday, last Friday we had Drink Talk Roll, which is our new D&D podcast. That's on YouTube. But this Friday it's the alternating week. So this Friday we're doing FAP, the FA podcast. That'll be myself, Cat Soup, and I don't remember who we're having the host there, but we did already kind of schedule something. It is our 13th episode. And it's not Friday the 13th, unfortunately, that's next Friday. But it is our 13th episode. Tune into that. We'll be talking, I think we were going to talk more fetishy things.
You should have skipped this week.
I know.
Actually, I'm having a fun thing happening on Friday the 13th, too. So instead of watching them, you should come watch me.
No, we're doing Drink Talk Roll. We're playing.
Roll.
We actually stopped during. We actually. Oh, I said learn tonight. Yeah, roll. We stopped during what might have been a battle encounter. So tune into that next Friday. Watch us instead. Well, I actually just watch us both. Just open both streams up and just go back and forth.
But for DTR, I'm just spitballing this right now since it's Friday the 13th. Like, do have like some kind of drinking game or something whenever you roll in that one for unluckiness.
That's a good one. Yeah. We should do that. Yeah, because the whole idea is it's episode 2, so we're still working this out. The whole idea is it's a D&D actual play podcast, but there's drinking involved also. Which is funny that that's launching like in its fullest because Drink Talk Learn is happening this Saturday. It's episode 54, and at best, Drink Talk Learn. Sorry, they're so similar. Drink Talk Learn, the presentation show, is going to change. It probably won't be the last episode. That's more clickbait, and it was always going to be clickbait. Not going to lie, but there will be a hiatus at the very least for a week or two afterwards. So yeah, and things will change.
So a normal detail schedule.
Yes. So watch it on Saturday, and then stay tuned. That's it for that. And you're doing feet, and then you're doing your other streams on Saturday. I actually was looking at your schedule this week because I'm like, I'm gonna watch more Nyaru stuff just to be.
Saturday I'm having a Global VTubers online panel.
There you go.
Hosted by Hyper Japan, which is a UK anime convention that is online. But yeah, it's on YouTube this year. So yeah, go watch that. And I'll be with Tatsu, Phoebe, Kusu, and me, and also with Tori Taiga and Natsumi Moe. So yeah, come listen to us talk about VTubing.
Oh,
you better do it.
Taiga,
do it or else.
I know she's like got deadly. She's threatening you now.
Yeah,
but yeah,
she's in yandere mode.
Oh my god!
And we'll be back next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Yeah, next week's on Tuesday. Should be a normal episode. Nyaru is off the week after that. She already told us that in a while, but I already have plans coming up for that. So it's just hopefully UPC will be normal for a while. This is a good episode. Not to say we haven't had all the great episodes, but like this is a really good episode. I'm really glad how this one turned out. So stay tuned for more craziness. We never even got to a single news topic. I even wrote some out myself.
It doesn't matter because the TV shows were more fun.
Yeah, Hagiwara Mai from Cute got married. She announced she was married. So let's all take a shot to her getting married.
Yay!
I only mentioned that she's solo project and because A to J's the house that Cute built. thank you all for watching. Peace out. Thank you, Nara, for not canceling. Nara actually had a very good reason she might have canceled it. She still did it. So yeah,
There was
thank you, Nara.
hail.
Yeah. And starting next week, I will bring out my backdrop and I'll have better lighting because I don't like the way I look when I fade in and out, and it gets really dark out of nowhere. So look forward to that. Peace out. Love you all. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Love you. Good night. Like, comment,
Night.
subscribe. Support us everywhere. Links
Watch my
everywhere.
feet stream.
Watch your feet tomorrow.